It's about to go down.
Burning your ears with another all-killer and no-filler episode of the best motorsports radio on the planet. It's the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. With your host, Jim Beaver.
Sliding trophy trucks, jumping razors, and dropping the mic at events across the country.
Amy Hood.
What's up, guys? I'm a professional fun haver, dirt bike rider, and monster truck driver.
With support from Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, and Dirtfish. Hang on tight, strap in, and get ready to smoke some tires and lay some roost. Here's the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other. Jim Beaver.
Good morning and welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And I got to tell you, we are firing on all 8 cylinders today. Man, this is a post-Crandon show and a pre-heyday show like you guys have never seen before. If you like off-road racing, and I'm an off-road racer, you're going to love this show. I know a lot of times we dive into some rally and some drifting and motocross and IndyCar and whatever else I'm doing that weekend. But this weekend, man, we're going back to the roots. It's all off-road racing, 100% of the show, and you guys are going to dig it. I mean, we've got Ryan Beat coming off a massive win. He's online. I know we had him last week, and you know what? When you go out and you win, you get to come back on air, and that's what's happened with Ryan Beat. We got my good friend Jason Luburgh. He's a, 3-time Terracross champ, but he went and he took home the world championship at Crandon. We got Luburgh on. He's going to be racing this weekend against me at Heyday, so we'll talk a bit about that. And then when I was out at Crandon, we had a couple of legends. Curt, LeDuc, the Hall of Famer. He's a Cup champ from Crandon. He was back there. I interviewed the legend Curt, and then Renezeder, one of the biggest stories in all of motorsports this year, announcing his retirement, coming back to Crandon after 10 years. I caught up with Carl for about 10 minutes out there. Got an amazing interview. You guys definitely want to hear that. And I got to tell you, a little teaser here, we're not seeing the end of Carl Renezeder in off-road. He's just shifting gears a bit. So you definitely want to catch that. We've got Joe Duncan on the line. He's going to be talking about Heydays and the kickoff this weekend. And then to cap things off, we got a surprise guest calling in from Crandon to kind of recap the weekend, and that's at the end of hour number 2. So Amy and I, we are firing on all 8 cylinders today here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We're going to be back right after this break. Want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Looking to have some fun on 4 wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. Finally going to be able to get Amy on. I was so full of, all kinds of energy to open this show. I didn't even get a chance to talk to Amy, who's hanging out there in Canada. But I'm amped, Amy. Like, this is a big show.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like Jim, when you come on, you're wide open. It's kind of cute. But I know Jim, you guys. I've known him forever. And when he's excited, there is no holding back. The guy is wide open. And I know this because he always sends me random photos of him when he's partying or something cool happens, and he's just wide open. He's kind of like me. You're like, I mean, not fully to the extent of my ADD wildness, but Jim, you're very much similar to my excitement level when I get excited.
It's probably why we click so well, and if you've never seen Amy and I out at an event before, we're actually pretty lucky because I can see, like, when Amy's like wide open and she's pinned 110%, and it's like, all right, Jimmy better only run about 75% today because I got to look out for Amy because she's like way out there. And then other times I'm the guy that's way out there, and it's like Amy's like, all right, I got to be the voice of reason here. We'll let Jimmy go out there and go off the deep end, and then I'll be here to reel him back in. So it's
wait a second. When am I not 100% wide open 7th gear tap?
I don't know. You pulled me. You saved me in Vegas once, so let's put it that way. I was kind of way out there. Yeah.
Hey, that is very true. That's because you lost your voice, and then the one year I lost my voice. So, well, I guess we do make a good pair. That's
we can tag team this stuff. But, no, it was a ton of fun. Amy's talking about my boy Ryan Beat. I was sending her texts with Beat from the after party of Crandon. And Amy and Ryan are both good friends. And I don't know. I was trying to make her feel a little bit bummed she wasn't there. I don't know why. But I don't know if we were trying to get you in on a private flight that night or something. But next year, I'm telling you, you got to put Crandon on your calendar. 50,000 people show up at this 400-acre off-road complex, and it's just 3 days of the most exciting off-road racing you can ever imagine. I mean, and it's just a down-home, like, country feel. There's bands and playing at night. It's like a festival. And then, in the evenings, I mean, you go back into Jurassic Park, and there's full-on naked slip and slide going on. And, I mean, it's like it's rowdy at night, but during the day, it's, just some of the best off-road racing, good people, amazing food. I mean, there's bars all over the facility, people just having a good time. I mean, it's just one of those things where I've heard about it for years, right? And I finally went this year, and it's like, I get it now. Like, we all know it's a big event, but now it's like, man, like, this is one. If you're a motorsports fan, I mean, I would put Crandon on the level of like the Indy 500 or Daytona 500. I mean, there's that many people, and it's that big of a deal. Like, literally anybody in Wisconsin is there that weekend. But it's
that's like Red Bud.
Yeah,
that's like the Red Bud of motocross. Like, you can hear about how amazing, wild, fun, and crazy of a time Red Bud is, and people are like, oh yeah, whatever. Until you're there and experience it, it's one of those events that you just want to go every year and then tell everybody about how awesome of a time it is. So I feel like Crandon would be a lot like Redbud on the four-wheel side of things. So, depending on my schedule, because technically I did have this weekend off of everything. So I think I might be making an appearance at Crandon next year. But please, Jim, keep me away from the slip and slide because I can only imagine what I'd get myself into.
Yeah, the problem is the naked slip and slide. It's like, it's like there's 8 dudes to 2 women. Like, the guys got no problem ripping their clothes off and going down the slip and slide, but it's finding a couple of the ladies that actually want to do it. So it's like, it's just funny because, guys are showing me videos, and when I went there, there's people going down, but they were in, bathing suits and stuff like that, and then later at night it got, pretty rowdy, right? They had like a hot tub on top. You got all lathered up and then you went down. But it was like, seriously, like later when it got out of hand, it was like all dudes and just like 1 or 2. It was very few women. And I was like, man, this is weird. Just like a bunch of naked guys sliding down the slide. But where are all the girls? Like, to me, like, I don't want to be naked with a bunch of guys. Like, there's got to be women around, right?
That sounds great to me.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that sounds fantastic. I'm there.
Yeah, Amy's like, oh, I'm in, right? Let's go. Oh, no, it was good times, though. I mean, it just, the event as a whole, the racing was just top-notch. I mean, there was people, the cup race to cap things off, and I got some VIP treatment there, and I was actually in the center section of the track where we were literally like 2 feet away from the trucks going by. It was just nuts. But a lot of people were saying that cup race was one of the best short course races in history. And, the East versus the West, we had that shootout. A lot of the West Coast teams making their way to Crandon. And, the West, I got to say, dominated. But I felt a little bad for my friends in the East, like Keegan Kincaid and stuff like that. They just had some bad luck. It wasn't that the West guys were that much better. It was just the East guys, man. For some reason, their home track and everything else, they just had some bad luck, and stuff happens in racing. But I do have to mention, Amy, I love traveling because, I get to meet all these people. But there was a fan. There's 50,000 people in lawn chairs, and I kind of stayed away from that area. But I was like, you know what? I want to go and walk amongst them just once, and kind of get a feel. And I was announcing and doing interviews and stuff, so I didn't really make my way down to the crowd. But I'm literally walking through, and the races are getting ready to start. And here's this guy starts yelling from I don't know, like 20 lawn chairs away or something. He's like, Jim Beaver, down and dirty. And I look and here's this guy, and I'm like, what? And so I end up walking over, you know what I mean? I'm like, well, I got to meet these people, right? And there was him and his brother, but I guess they're in Crandon, and in Wisconsin, there's like this group of people. His name's Scott Harris. I'll give him a shout out. He actually tagged me on Facebook this morning.
Scott.
But, he, I guess there's this big group of people in Crandon that literally they never miss this show, Amy. It's like they talk about it every week and everything else. So like that makes you feel good when you're traveling, 2,000 miles away from home. And I'm like, man, he listens. He's I think he drives a tractor for a living, or I don't know if it's a bulldozer or what. I can't remember at this point. And I'm sorry, Scott, but I talked to so many people over the weekend. But he listens to it, you know what I mean, when he's working. So big shout out to him, man.
Awesome. Well, what's up, Scott, man? Hope you had fun in Crandon, but thanks for tuning in every week.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you, here I'm talking about all my stuff going on. Meanwhile, Amy, you're getting ready to teach a motocross school today. And let me tell you guys, like, she's got some amazing motocross schools. If you haven't seen her with little kids, like, she's top notch. But normally she does like half a dozen kids. Today she decides, we're going to go like 4 times that amount. We're going to do like 24 kids at one time. I'm like, Amy, what the heck are you getting yourself into, girl?
Well, you guys have to keep up on my Instagram story right now at AmyHood71. And I just finished the other trophy cup. But I love to go all out, okay? So my thing, like, I'm half ADD, half Martha Stewart, half, I don't even know. I love to go all out for these kids. Like, it's super fun. Like, it's enjoyable. You come to motocross school, yes, you learn the basics, build your confidence, and, become a better rider. But it's also a wicked awesome time. Like, I want to leave these kids with a memory that they'll never forget, memory for their parents that they will never forget. So this weekend, or today, it starts at 4 o'clock tonight. And no, I have no more room. I can't accept anyone else. But to already get 2 of my friends to come and help me out because I have so many. But I have a sangria station for the moto moms. Last time I realized that I have all these moms come, with their husbands, and they're, having a couple beers and stuff, and we're just shooting this, the thingy and having a good time. We're like, yeah, let's have a sangria station for the moto moms. So I got some sangria brewing right now in the fridge, but this is going to be one of my last big schools, so I really wanted to go out with a bang. I have a lot of kids who compete and a lot of kids who, they're working their way up to race next year. So it's important that every kid leaves with something so that they feel accomplished. And often getting a trophy is that igniter that really sets their motocross journey on a high note where they earn their first trophy and they just want to keep getting that feeling and, keep it up. I actually have a couple of my friends who, they're my friends to this day, and they came to my schools years ago, and they're like, guess what, Amy? The first place I ever got a trophy was at your motocross school. I used to make them out of an old Rockstar can, and I'd hot glue gun one of the trophy guys to the can, and I had these Rockstar trophies. But this time I went all out, and we have some unique awards. I spray painted everything that I could find gold. Okay, so I have a tire, an old motocross helmet, which actually looks freaking sick. Okay, that's going to be my most improved. I got levers, goggles, throttle, foot pegs. So every particular thing has, a meaning behind it and has to be earned. Best throttle control, and it's things that they learn. So, most improved throttle control, hard charger, balance, line selection. But you guys have to take a look at my story because it is freaking awesome. They look so cool. And now I have a whole bunch of other trophy cups that are just for, accomplishment. So it's going to be a blast.
Yep, it's awesome. Definitely check them out. We got to take a short break. We come back. Ryan Beat on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ RZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, waiting for our boy Ryan Beat to call in. I just shot him a text message. I know he's driving back from Crandon. It's a heck of a long way back to Southern California right now. So see if we can get Mr. Beat to call in. But I don't know, cell service may be a little bit spotty or this or that. So I don't know. We got a message into him though. But yeah, Amy was talking about right before the break, her trophies, and I got to say she sent me some pictures of them and stuff like that. And I know you said you've got them in your Instagram stories, but holy crap, Hood, those things are pretty rad. Like you're getting pretty innovative, man. You got some time into those things.
Yeah, I actually just made a post right now of my new set of trophies, but it's fun. Like I enjoy doing it. Like my mom's always like, "Okay, Amy, you don't have to go all out. You don't gotta go crazy," but I like to. It's fun. I'm making healthy snacks. I do like peanut butter, banana, strawberry wrapped up in a wrap with honey. Like I just like to, make the kids keep coming.
Oh, here we got Beat calling in now.
Oh, Ryan!
What is up, Ryan Beat, my boy? What's happening?
What's going on? So
we
I'm in the middle of Wyoming and.
Yeah, it's what I figured. When I sent it and it wasn't the blue bubble, it was the green one. I'm like, man, Beat's in some weird territory right now if the iPhone iMessage isn't going through. So I figured you guys were on the road traveling. But Wyoming, man, you're making some pretty good time. Oh, it dropped off. Yeah, just like that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're answering here. Hey, what's up, Beat? You there?
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. I figured it was hit and miss.
We're here. Yep, very.
Yeah. So, no, dude, I don't know how long the call lasts because of, you guys driving. But, man, making your way to Crandon, you got to tell us because I was there. I was texting Amy the whole time. I'm like, it was my first experience at Crandon. It was your first experience at Crandon. And you were telling me, we'll talk about the win, but you were talking about turn one, and you're like, dude, I've jumped motocross bikes, I've jumped off-road trucks, like I've done some hairy stuff. And you were like, turn one, it ain't going to be that big of a deal. And then you said you got into turn one, and you're like, holy crap, man, that takes some commitment to hit that. How was that the first experience with turn one, man?
Yeah, turn one's definitely no joke. It, like I said, I've done some crazy things on dirt bikes, monster trucks, pretty much everything you can do craziness on in four wheels and with the motor. And going into turn one is unlike anything else, man. It's flat out and it's hairy.
Yeah, well,
full commitment.
Yeah, and I know you were talking, when we were back there, like, you were figuring things out. You were one of the few West Coast guys that actually raced on Saturday. And you ended up having some power steering problems. But, you came out Sunday, dude, and it was your race to lose. You got the whole shot. There was all kinds of different cautions and, and things like that. And somehow, every time, dude, you were just on point. What did you learn in Saturday that you were able to apply to everything that happened on Sunday?
Yeah, Saturday was just kind of a good learning experience on how that start goes. That start's just like a motocross thing. If you don't get a good start, it makes things really hard. So, my first time getting into turn one on Saturday, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous, and kind of tiptoed through there. And, come Sunday, I just said, come hell or high water, I'm either going to be in the hospital or I'm going to win this race. So I sent it into turn one. It never lifted. Tried not to look back. I knew once we got a good start, if I put in solid laps, didn't make mistakes, they'd have a hard time keeping up.
Yeah, well, and I got to tell you, and all of us, I was sitting there, and and there's all us West Coast guys that were there, the McMillans, and and everything else, and it was just a crew. There was a lot of West Coast people there, and we were all kind of there together, and it was like, all of us were just like on pins and needles, and you had such a gap, and then all of a sudden, caution had come out, and then all of a sudden, it's like you had to do it all over again. But somehow your truck was just on point on Sunday. I mean, you gave, a couple of turns and you had already lengthened things out. I mean, what was going through your head when all these cautions start flying? You're like, oh, crap, man. At some point, did you go, man, they're just out to get me?
Oh yeah, I had some choice words for the one guy that kept causing cautions left and right. So yeah, definitely was sharing some choice words with my spotter about the guy that kept causing the cautions. But yeah, I mean, I just had to keep it together and stay calm, be cool, and just focus on my restarts, make sure I got good jumps. We've been working really hard with our shock package with Bill signed shocks and Todd Tenbrook, and then my converter package with Dynamic and ATD from or Charlie from ATD. So things were good. I had my engine builder Bruce O'Grady out there all weekend tuning on the carb and making sure that we were making as much power as possible. Because I think these guys are no slouches back here. They brought their A game, so I needed to do the same.
Yeah, and
yeah.
And I know you talking with it afterwards, and I know, to get there was, it was a big deal for a lot of the West Coast guys, and particularly you with your sponsor package and things like that to get back there. And I know you were back there and being around you, a few times during the weekend, I mean, just the atmosphere was pretty amazing. But I mean, after all this is said and done, I mean, this is one of those things like it's in the books from here on out for you, right? Oh, and we dropped, right? Oh man! Oh, we're having some fun conversations with Beat, and he's traveling back, and he's in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming at the moment. So we're just going to take Beat when we can. But we were talking about it, and it was one of those things where Ryan was saying, he's like, for him to get back there, it's a big step, and it's a big financial commitment for a West Coast team to go all the way to Wisconsin. You know what I mean? 2/3 of the way across the country. But when he got back there, and then he ends up winning. But he's like, even without the win, Ryan was like, he's like, dude, it's on. Like I'm here every year for the rest of my career. He's like, it's booked. And you talk about West Coast short course audiences, and they may get 10,000 at an event, which is a substantial crowd. But when you start talking about 50,000 people at one race, I mean, that's a massive, you start thinking about it. I mean, most of Supercross races in baseball parks and stuff like that, they don't hold 50,000 people. So when you put that into perspective, I mean, that's a massive crowd to watch a motorsports event. I mean, it takes a special NASCAR IndyCar race to draw that many people in. That's just, for motorsports, it's unheard of to get that many people at one place at one time. So I don't know. I mean, what is it? Do you know numbers for like outdoors? You're talking about Redbud. I mean, how many people show up to like an outdoor motocross event, Amy? I mean, I've never actually been to a national. I've been to a lot of Supercross rounds, but never an outdoor national.
Well, Redbud is really special because they have this, they have the general pop, I guess you can say, and then they have this really special lot called B lot, where people come with their motorhomes, campers, tents, vans, just a blanket and a pillow. And B lot is the lot that is known for the partying. So, depending on what round you go to, I know Millville, Redbud, and obviously anywhere in California, because that is the mecca of motocross, holds a lot more people and a lot more spectators. But, you go out to these motocross races, and a lot of times they're in very rural, locations. Like they are an hour from a city out in the bush. So it really just kind of depends on what area you go to. But I'm trying to Google here as we talk how many people show up to Redbud. 1 second here. So Google how many spectators. So talk about American racing, okay? When I raced over in Europe, Jim, there must have been 200,000 Europeans, because the cool thing about Europe is it's, every country is
here we got Beat calling back in.
Away.
All right, we got Beat back in. All right, we got Ryan Beat back. All right, we got a couple minutes left of the segment. We got Beat finally back locked in. All right, so we were talking about Amy and I were talking about it, but you were saying in particular, man, but going into this weekend, it was pretty tough for you to get there, but now that you're there, I mean, this is something that's on your calendar from here on out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a big event, such a great event. I don't see why any off-road racers should miss that event. I mean, with the exposure and the value.
Yeah. You still there? We still got you? Hello?
Dang.
Yeah, he's still on. It hadn't dropped. It's just cutting in and out. But yeah,
Horrible
it
well,
dropped.
I did look it up.
Yeah.
And I did. So I did look it up, and it said Redbud has 25,000 spectators, and that's back in 2015. But how many were you saying is in Crandon?
They have 50,000 over 2 days, so it's about 25,000 a day. Which is it's probably in line. It's probably about a similar crowd to Redbud then, because Redbud's it's one day. They don't run. I mean, they run multiple days, but the big show's on the one day, right? So probably you start looking at stuff like Indy 500. I mean, they've got like 150,000 people there, but Indianapolis Motor Speedway is just massive, But it's probably similar to what you were talking about in Europe, but it's just crazy. I mean, it's just.
Europe is on a whole new level.
Yeah.
Europe is where you get France versus Germany versus Spain, and you get all the different countries that actually come to support the riders, and it's on a whole new level. It's kind of like going to a Nations or say a Dakar, where you have all the nations coming to support. But Crandon, and especially over a 2-day period, would just be incredible. Like that many people. I want to go. I'm in.
Yeah, and we're right now. I'm getting a tweet. We got to go to break, but getting a tweet from one of our listeners. Listens all the time. I got to give a shout out. It's at speed_SB4Pro. But he listens to the show every week, and he was actually at Watkins Glen for the IndyCar and Stadium Super Truck race, and he actually goes to Crandon every single year. But he wanted to see Robbie Gordon in person out there at Watkins Glen. But he goes, dude, he's like, IndyCar race at Watkins Glen, nowhere near the amount of people that go to Crandon. So there you go. We're going to take a short break. We come back. We got Carl Renezeder, Curt LeDuc on the line here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RZRLife to share your story. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
About sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Right now, we're going to roll right into some interviews that I did out at Crandon this weekend with a couple of off-road legends, Carl Renezeder in his final Crandon, as well as the legend and Off-Road Hall of Fame member, Curt LeDuc. Here's those interviews. All right, catching up here with Carl Renezeder, man. And I don't know, Carl, back in Crandon, that's got to feel pretty special, buddy.
It sure does. I mean, it's really literally been 10 years. So coming back to Crandon, driving down through town, seeing the parade and the old Flintstone truck, and then, of course, the track. It's pretty surreal. I don't believe it's been 10 years.
Well, and I know that was the big thing. You know, when you announced your retirement earlier this year, it was one of those things like, is Carl going to come back to Crandon before he retires, you know? And then they made that announcement. That had to have been, you know, pretty good feeling for you, almost like a homecoming. I mean, your name was Crandon Carl for quite a while.
Yeah, you know, I've had a lot of success at this track and a lot of great memories and great experiences with the fans. And, you know, it's definitely a special thing to come back, especially in my last year, and be able to go race on this track. I wish I had more laps, and you know, haven't done a land rush start or a standing start in 10 years. So it'll be interesting to see how things go on Sunday tomorrow. But you know, our truck is good, and hopefully it all comes back pretty quick.
Well, and you've been a guy, you know, as far as short course, I mean, we saw some down years, and obviously the health of short course right now, you know, with everything happening in the West with Lucas is super, super strong. I mean, you've been a fixture. You've been one of the, you know, the staples of short course racing for quite some time. I mean, you know, with you announcing your retirement, it's got to feel pretty good for you to know that the sport is in a really good spot right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's always been, you know, my goal throughout the years is, you know, for the sport to grow and to take off and be something really special. And, you know, it's going in that direction. It's strong right now, and it feels good that I had something to do with it, a little bit at least.
Well, and you know, you with the big announcement with your retirement, I mean, you know, I'm sure a lot came into play, but obviously your team, you know, you're still playing, you know, racing at an elite level, you know, and you've got, you know, some great sponsor involvement. I mean, what was the determining factor, you know, just to step away?
Well, you know, I think that's a very difficult question to answer. You know, it's you know, you think about your career and how long you've been racing, and you know, I don't think it has anything to do with performance. I don't think it has anything to do with sponsors. It's just to me, you know, there's a point in your life where, you know, okay, when is that chapter of that book is gonna close? And right now, it just seems like this is the right time.
Well, and I got to ask because I'm a trophy truck guy myself, but last I heard you've still got a trophy truck parked in the garage. I mean, is there any chance we see you do a little moonlighting in the trophy truck here and there?
Well, you know, I have my trophy truck. I have my Ranger still. I have all the fueling towers. I got all the stuff I had. Didn't get rid of any of it for the desert. So there's a pretty good chance that you might see me out in the desert here in the next near term.
Oh, you know, I think that gets a lot of fans excited because it's one of those things. I'm trying to think. It may have been Laughlin a few years back, I think, the last time we saw you. But always fun to see you out in the desert. I mean, that's you know, that's kind of how you got your start. I mean, you know, in talking about Crandon, I know this is where you got your start in short course. I mean, how did that transition happen from a desert guy to short course? I mean, what was it about short course that got you and grabbed you and brought you in?
Well, you know, desert and short course are different in that the desert's a long distance adventure race, so to speak, and short course is, you know, 100% now. There's no dust, and you're racing to a checker with a bunch of trucks. So I was always attracted to that short course kind of mentality, and I remember I think the first short course race I did was right after the Baja 1000. I believe it was in 95 or 6, and I was in the trophy truck for the Baja 1000, and I broke early, so the truck was in good shape. So they had a winter series at Glen Helen, And we lowered the trophy truck, put a 6.0 gear in it, and I went and raced the short course. And I'm like, I just got to do this.
Well, and that being said, you guys, obviously you came into short course, and you guys have been, the utmost professionals. You guys have run your race program like a business. There's a lot of guys coming into the sport now, young kids and stuff coming up. I mean, what would you, what is your takeaway from what you've learned and the way you've carried your program, to these people coming up that want to make a living and a career out of it?
Well, first of all, understand why you do this in the first place. We're a marketing company, and we represent sponsors who pay us to race and represent their product. And the reason why they do that is not because we're cool people, but because we have an impact on selling products for them. So that's a fundamental of what we do. The fact that we're a TV property and we get eyeballs, everybody's watching all the time. So you have to be professional. You have to understand what the business model is and what you're actually trying to do here. And, oh, by the way, we race too.
So, going back to the race tomorrow, obviously we've got the Cup race. That's what you're here for. That's the big one. You said it's been 10 years since you've been here. I mean, as far as truck setups and things like that, I mean, do you guys have a game plan going into tomorrow? I mean, has the track changed a lot since the last time you were here?
Yeah, it's changed a bit. Some of the turns have changed and some jumps and things, but for the most part, the layout's the same. The dirt seems to have changed a little bit, but I think, setup-wise, we're in the ballpark. It's just, have to be able to get off the line and get a good start and start feeling the tracks quickly.
So being back here, I mean, this is the last year of your short course career. I mean, what would a Cup win mean here, to cap things off?
Oh man, it would just be the coup de grace, really. I mean, to be able to win a race here at Crandon would mean everything, and that would be one awesome way to end my career.
Yeah. So how's the fan reception and feedback been with you? When you pulled in the rig, and I'm already seeing people lined up to buy T-shirts and things like that. I mean, how's the fan reception been?
It's been beyond what I expected. I thought I always knew I had a lot of fans here, and I get a lot of messages from them. But to come here and see them and see the reaction on their faces and the things they said and the way they make me feel, it makes my decision a lot harder, I'll tell you, to be honest with you. But no, it's just a great feeling to know that I had an impact at some point here, and people really were entertained by what we do, and that's the whole goal, and feels great.
All right, well, I appreciate the time for the interview. Good luck at the Cup race, man. Looking forward to seeing you on top of the box.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, catching up here with Curt LeDuc, and I don't know, it's safe to say I'm looking around the walls here, and I see your picture on the wall. So, I'd say Crandon legend, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't believe it's your first time here. That kind of shocked me. I think I've been coming here since 1984, and so I just figure everybody's been to Crandon a couple of times.
Yeah, well, I know talking with Kyle, earlier, he was like, man, I kind of grew up there, so it was like when he started racing here, it was, it was kind of that was like a big deal for him because he'd been watching the races from the time he was a kid. I'm sure Todd's the same way.
Yeah, they would come here, and when I ran the Pro 4 by myself, we would have a Ford test, and at the end of the weekend when it was all done, the boys all got to drive the cars. I told them, whatever you do, don't put it in high gear. Just drive around in second. Just, have some fun driving around. They come down through turn one in high gear, first lap every time. Never listen to Dad.
Has anything changed?
No, not much. No.
Oh, well, speaking of that, we got a lot to talk about, but I mean, both the boys, you got to be pretty proud of where they're at in their careers. Obviously, we've seen what Kyle's done in short course. Todd, I mean, he's done short course, but now, what he's doing in Monster Jam. I mean, he's the top guy in Monster Jam. It's got to be pretty exciting for you to be able to watch your boys do what they're doing.
I never thought I'd raise somebody that would be a monster truck driver, but, Todd wants to be the best in the world at it, and so does Kyle. And so, that makes me really proud. And, my daughter Valerie's pulling it together, working and living on her own, and, had to grow up a little bit, and I'm proud of her as well. So it's, as a grandpa and as a dad, I'm really happy.
So, I know you're back here, but some big stuff. I know you were here for Cliff. He's going in the Off-Road Hall of Fame, place, that you're super familiar with. But also we got some bleachers dedicated to you, right?
Yeah, they put in a new grandstand section. And once I got here, I learned that they bought it at an auction, and it came from the Milwaukee Mile, which is a legendary racetrack down here in Milwaukee for motorcycles and Indy cars and everything. And so to get my own section named after me, I'm up there with Rob McCachran and Rick Huseman. And, I got to dedicate it with my grandsons and my sons there. So it was cool to come back and honor Cliff, and the 500 volunteers that make this event happen. And I came here first in 1984, and to still be coming back, I tell people it's September and you're in Crandon, and then November you want to be in Baja, and everything in between is just waiting. And so it was exciting to be here for the parade yesterday. Huge turnout. And, Kyle's got a fast hot rod. There's a lot of fast West Coast guys. Can't discount the Greaves. So it's going to be a great show for the fans. Even though it rained this morning, the chairs are out. Everybody's out. They got 2 sweatshirts on, and they're watching the race cars. So it's cool to be back in Crandon.
Yeah, well, and talking about that, your career, you've won Baja, you've, obviously you won Crandon. Where do those Crandon wins, stack up with all your championships and everything you've accomplished as a driver?
Well, it's just, the next, the biggest race in your career is the next one you want to win. So, once you've got here and you figured out how to win at Crandon, and, you just want to keep coming back and duplicating. It's like your first Baja 1000 win or your first championship. You struggle to get it done, and then you want to do it every time. And, sometimes it's your year, sometimes it's not. But, the fans come by. You sell more T-shirts at Crandon than you'll sell in 2 or 3 years at the other series, because they're real diehard fans here. And, they're 3rd or 4th, 5th generations. They used to come with their grandpas to come here and camp and see the racers. And, a lot of them bring back the old T-shirts and wear them back when I was on top of the game. And, there's a lot of people I see now running around with Kyle's shirts on. So, for me, it's, it's the cycle of life continues. And, I hope to be back here for the 50th anniversary. Just like, this year's 50th Baja 1000, I'm going to race it with Nick Vanderway. Kyle's going to race it with the Riviera guys and that trophy truck. And Todd's got a ride for trophy truck as well for the 50th. So to have all 3 of the LeDucs in the 50th Baja 1000 is, to me, it's a dream come true.
And, looking forward, obviously you've got your truck. I know you're running it a bit at Best in the Desert. You've got some swap meets coming up. What's on tap for you the rest of the year? I hear super secret SEMA project in the works too?
That's not super secret. I'm working with Skyjacker. I was down there, and the eye of the hurricane had to change all my plane flights so I could get to Crandon. But my heart's out to the guys in Houston. My sister lives just north of there. They're all good. But, it's a recovery process. But, yeah, the swap meet next weekend, I'm going to help drive Kyle's hauler home and set up at Casino Morongo. And so come on out Saturday and move in, and Sunday to make your deals. And, help support the racers that need to get through the rest of the season, and help those young kids that want to build their dream project so they can go out and be Baja champions like I am.
So, one last thing before we go, obviously, talking with Kyle, he's stoked to be back here. What's Dad telling him? What's it going to take to win tomorrow with all the West Coast and the East Coast guys here in Pro 4?
I don't like watching the boys on the track or Bradley Morris, the young guns, because I know every place in this track that can trip you up. So, I watch them go around and, all right, they dodged that one. Okay, they dodged that one. And, like Bradley Morris, he going in, hooked the rut by the finish line. And we've all been upside down there. So, you got to land straight at the barn turn. You got to get through the finish line. You got to haul butt in the gravel pit. Like Robbie Gordon says, you got to see God every corner here at Crandon. And, if you do, you're going to be on top of the box.
All right. Well, I think it's a good place to end this. But thanks a lot, Curt. It's, awesome to see you out here at Crandon.
Yes, sir. Can't believe a guy from Parker never been to Crandon.
You got to love Curt LeDuc. Always fun catching up with him. But before we go to break, I want to tell you about something I'm listening to right now. It's called Heritage Road. It's a 6-part miniseries that takes you behind the wheel of the history and tradition of NASCAR and under the hood of the science of the sport. Stuff like, do you really know what a G-force feels like? Or one of the stories that I love, it's one of the sport's most promising stars who was shot down in his prime over some sugar. Heritage Road's hosted by Rich Phillips, the voice of Texas Motor Speedway, and brought to you by Busch, the beer that supported racing since 1979. You can subscribe to Heritage Road wherever you listen to podcasts. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Celebrate Mexican Independence Day with the Selena Tribute Show. Los Chicos del 512. Live Saturday, September 16th. Inside the showroom at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7 p.m. General admission just $20. Or VIP tickets only $30. Available now at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. Or visit BlueWaterFun.com.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water. Right on the money.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF 21. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino showroom. Saturday, September 9th. See Armando Murillo versus Daviante Jones. Live for the title. Doors open at 6 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission just $15. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water. Right on the money.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver here, and we've got a Dirtfish Rally report coming at you from our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. And don't forget, you can always use that coupon code JBDirtfish for 15% off classes up there at Dirtfish Rally School. All you have to do is go to www.dirtfish.com, and you can book those classes on the web. So thanks a lot to all of you guys tuning in. Been a fun show, but right now we're going to talk a little World Rallycross that was happening there in France this weekend, and it was Johan Kristoffersson with the big win. Sebastian Loeb, the legend, in second. Matthias Ekstrom finishing up in third. My boy Backerud, Andreas Backerud, finishing in fourth. Petter Solberg, another legend, in fifth. And Timmy Hansen finishing up in sixth. Those were your results from the final. So you gotta love World Rallycross. I mean, I wish it got a little more coverage here in the United States, but you look at this list of drivers, just legends. I mean, Loeb, Solberg. I mean, you can't, count out Ken Block, who's racing over there. I mean, Timur Timurzainov, Renus Nidis. I mean, these are some of the best rally drivers in the world, all competing in WRX. So really cool. But right now, Kristoffersson leading your points, 241. Big gap to second, who is Petter Solberg. And then right behind him, we got Matthias Ekstrom with 180, followed up by Sebastian Loeb with 169 points. So having a shootout there in World Rallycross, only 9 days away from the next event, and you can find out more information on them, following them on social media. But lots of good stuff happening over there in Europe. And don't forget, speaking of good stuff, we got Subaru and Launch Control dropping every Wednesday on social media and YouTube. So thanks to Dirtfish for the Dirtfish Rally Report, and we're going to be back after this here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. And, man, we have been slammed with a ton of Crandon talk. Ryan Beat calling in. We had those interviews with Carl Renezeder and Curt LeDuc. And we got a lot more good stuff coming at you. I do have a big favor to ask you guys that are tuning in. If you could go over to the front page of Podcast One of the amazing places that carries this show as well as my other show, Project Action, they're going to have a survey on the front page. I really need you guys to go and fill out this survey for me. Go to podcastone.com. And when you fill out that survey, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions. It's all anonymous, but if you could check the boxes for the shows that you listen to, and please check the box for both the Down and Dirty Radio Show and Project Action, and then fill out the survey, it would be much appreciated to me. I can tell you guys, you don't know how much those surveys mean. It helps us sell advertising, sponsorship, and keep us on the air. So any help is much appreciated. Just check the box for Down and Dirty Show as well as Project Action. And speaking of action, we had a lot of action this weekend. Obviously, Crandon, the big house, we got some results to get to there. I mean, the big ones, obviously Ryan Beat taking that Pro Light victory. But on Sunday, it was Bryce Menzies' day, the sweep. He takes the Pro 2 race. He takes the Pro 4 race. He takes the Cup race. It was just insane for Menzies. A heck of a weekend for him. And I also got to give a shout-out to one of my upcoming guests, Jason Luburgh, on taking that big UTV World Championship win there as well. It was one heck of a race. And you know who else put on a heck of a race was Andrew Carlson, Torque regular. I got to tell you, he was very impressive. We had him on air a couple of weeks back, and I was just super impressed with the way this kid drives. I think he is the next big name in short course off-road racing, and you really need to be watching out for Andrew Carlson. But in addition to the Cup races, we've talked a ton about those. We had the Torque race on Saturday. Some of the West Coast guys set that one out. Some of them raced it. But the big news is we had Carlson taking the Pro 2 victory. We had Kyle Kleeman taking the Pro Light victory, and CJ taking the Pro 4 win after taking out his old man with like 2 corners to go. It was made from excitement, but it was a little bit of payback for CJ, but edging out Johnny for the win in Pro 4. Obviously, Carlson in Pro 2. And then looking down, we had CJ Greaves, the Pro Stock UTV win, and Farr in Pro Mod UTV. So up next for Torque, we got the race in Minnesota, ERX, triple header, kind of cap things off for them. But we're going to be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup sign up at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF 21. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom. Saturday, September 9th. See Armando Murillo versus Daviante Jones. Live for the title. Doors open at 6 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission just $15. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Like what you hear? Catch all the back episodes of the Down and Dirty Radio Show on Apple Podcast, and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, getting ready to kick off our Terracross segment, brought to you by our good friends at Optimus Starters. They start every Polaris Razor in the Terracross Championship, which kicks off this weekend at Heydays. Stoked to have Optimus as part of the show. Definitely, if you guys have a snowmobile, a UTV, Optimus is Optimus is second to none. So definitely check them out. It's Optimus Starters, starting every UTV in the Terracross Championship. And speaking of starting the Terracross Championship, we're about a couple days from going racing. And joined on the line, I got my good friend Joe Duncan. How's everything going, Joe?
Jim Beaver, things are going really well, but I'm really, really, really concerned right now.
Why is that?
Because I have to put you in a Polaris Turbo with 168 horsepower on a Terracross course. And I've seen what you do with 110 horsepower on a Terracross course. I'm really nervous. I'm really, really nervous. But I got to put you in a turbo.
Well, I'll be all right in a turbo, but I got to tell you, I'm all right in a turbo. I'm all right in any Razor as long as there's no, gaps. When you get the gap jumps involved, that is where Jim Beaver has problems, Joe.
Oh, Jim Beaver. Oh, Jim Beaver. We got some good old Heydays racing coming your way.
Yeah, I'm excited to get out there, man. I know, just talking with, there's actually quite a few people I talked to at Crandon. They're actually making the trip over to Heydays this next weekend. I know it's only about a 4 or 5 hour drive, and, a lot of people are doing like me and pulling the double duty. They're going to Crandon one weekend, they're going to Heydays the next, and I don't know, I think that's kind of the hot ticket right there.
You know what? I think it is too. I think Crandon had a great weekend up there, and their Sunday shootout was one of the best ever for them. And congrats on that. That's pretty awesome. Congratulations to Bryce Menzie and the gang. And get everybody warmed up for Heydays here.
Yeah, well, and we got to give a shout out to our next guest, Jason Luburgh, who, he took home, I guess, the world championship there. But I know talking to him, he's just as amped to come back. I mean, here's a guy, I don't know how many championships and wins he has in Terracross at this point. But, he's, one of the faces of Terracross, and he's just as amped to get back to heydays. And I know he helps design the courses. So I know he was pretty much as soon as the race was over, he was en route, to Minnesota, it sounds like. Or maybe he was going back home for a day and then coming to Minnesota.
He's going home to hang out with the family for a couple of days, and we actually had the Ziegler Caterpillar equipment and the guys in town from Ziegler Cat to help build, or at least start the build of the course. I mean, we've had one of the best courses and best designs we had last year, so we're using a lot of the same features, and we actually have the course pretty well prepped and ready to go with we're just waiting for Jason to come in and put his final touches on and make that thing a Terracross friendly, or should I say Terracross unfriendly course, as you drivers may say. But we've got the course prep, we've got the layout all done. Fly Racing and Western Power Sports and Sedona Tire have a new an additional booth space at the heydays overlooking the track, kind of right where you do your announcing and our TV stuff from. We got some big news coming on Friday that we'll be announcing with some new partners on board, some big television news, and some big racers that are coming out. It's pretty exciting. Kind of rolling into this like we always do, on fire and knocking stuff out of the park, and people coming out of the woodwork last minute asking if they can get into Terracross, and it's crazy.
Yeah, that's exciting. I know, it's like Crandon is over, shift gears for Terracross. Heydays, I mean, it seems like every year, it's record crowds. Like they one up themselves every single year there at Heydays, and and it's Jeremy, he was out at Crandon, the other partner in Terracross, and he and I were talking, and he goes, it's just amazing, literally. You've got 50,000 people at Heydays, and they stop dead in their tracks when Terracross is going to happen in that arena at the center of the complex there. Literally, it's people pack in. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like that entire event stops to come watch Terracross, and and as a racer, it's crazy. You feel like you're a gladiator at the Roman Colosseum or something.
I think that's one of the things that separates Terracross. Again, great other events, and I'll be honest with you, some of those events probably have bigger, better racetracks for all-out racing. But when it comes down to the TV show and getting in front of the crowd, and you have that 300-foot by 300-foot square that we throw all you guys in and let you guys go to town on what Jason and the crew builds out there, it's pretty awesome. And when you see the TV show on CBS Sports Network, and you look at the lines of crowds that are down those rows, this event is pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's and I had this conversation with some people recently, and I know Heyday started out as a snowmobile event, and it's still very much a snowmobile event. But I feel like the power sports side of things, and specifically UTV, have really kind of crept in, and it's been embraced by Heydays. But I feel like it's no longer just a snow-only event, and it's becoming partly a UTV event as well.
Exactly, because the manufacturers that make the snowmobiles also make the UTVs, or a majority of them, and it's where the money is, to be honest with you. Unfortunately, snowmobiles and our winter weather is few and far between. So, they make great product for the winter, but unfortunately, there's just not a ton of snow in the Midwest area. Out west has gotten back up to par a little bit, but so they have to have those other sources of revenue, and the UTVs came along and exploded, and we all know what happened with Polaris, and look what's happening with other manufacturers now, and it's a great thing. And Heydays reaps the reward of having that multiple power sports there, and still in its roots and its DNA is snowmobiles, and you have the grass drags, and you have the displays, and you have the new releases of snowmobiles and now snow bikes. And after that, it is pretty much all power sports. And, we do that freestyle show with the ATVs, bikes, and snowmobiles in the middle, and then we race Terracross around it. And, that's kind of that center point. There's beer stands and food and beverage and vendors and you name it around that whole thing. And like you said, when they come by and we're fired up, they stop and watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely an event like I've never been a part of, and I look forward to it every year, and it's one of those things, even if I wasn't racing, I think I'd still be there just because the atmosphere and the fun times and things like that. But, so things get kicked off Saturday, at Terracross. I mean, I know we've got James Hill back in the series, Sarah Price, Jolene Van Vliet. We're all actually traveling together, but what are some of the other names we see coming in for this year, Joe?
You got Jason Luburgh and his sister Jamie are coming back. You got Jeff Skace from Optimus coming to town. You got Addison Nibble, who's been killing it in the GNCC series and doing awesome. We're waiting to hear if we got Hubert Rowland in the celebrity class. We got Nate Wessel, Travis Pastrana's, builder and Woodward course builder. He's going to be doing some cool stuff for us in the future. Multi-time medalist, X Games medalist, Brett Turcotte. Something that has come about very recently. Fly Racing, WPSA, and Sedona Tire is bringing Damon Bradshaw. Damon Bradshaw's coming to Terracross.
That's awesome.
And we're getting him in a nice turbo in that celebrity class. So you're going to have to beat up on him a little bit there, Jimmy.
Well, I tell you what, Damon Bradshaw, I know what he's done in a monster truck and on a dirt bike. I think he's going to have no problem sliding right into Terracross, that's for sure. But I'm excited, Joe. It's going to be a fun year. I can't wait to get back there later this week, my friend. But, I know you got to get back to some course building and, getting everything lined up. But as always, I can't wait to have you back on air next week so we can talk about how epic Heydays was,
Yeah. Sounds great, Jimmy. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right.
Bye. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on four wheels? The Polaris RZR brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris RZR because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team RZR because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris RZR because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris RZR because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRZR.com or follow at Polaris RZR on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
MMA at its best, and it's back. It's the RUF 21. Live cage fights on the river in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom. Saturday, September 9th. See Armando Murillo versus Daviante Jones. Live for the title. Doors open at 6 p.m. Get your $25 ringside tickets now. General admission just $15. Tickets available online or at the gift shop. Live cage fights on the river.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
You're listening to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. All killer and no filler.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Joined on the line by my good friend Jason Luburgh, coming off what has got to be probably one of the biggest wins of your career. How's everything going, my friend?
Going good, buddy. Thank you. Thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's you're quote unquote world champion now, right? That's like a world championship race.
Right.
So we I don't know. Like I'm kind of surrounded by greatness on the air right now. Like that's pretty legit title, buddy.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even really think about that too much till the way home either. I guess I'm world champion. I have to say that a couple times.
Yeah. Yeah, you're world champion for at least 12 months, right? You got the title for 12 months.
There you go.
Oh.
But yeah, it's a great race. I love going up there. It's a really cool race. Great atmosphere. The whole town gets behind it. The parade and crazy amount of people there, and just the support and energy is amazing up there.
Yeah, well, and let's talk about the Torque season this year because, I mean, you guys, let's put it this way, the Yamahas have been pretty darn tough to beat in 2017. And, and I'm a Polaris guy, you're a Polaris guy, but I mean, in short course, those are just kind of the facts, right? And, you guys have had to work your butts off to get this car on point. And I mean, I guess this is about the perfect timing to have that thing finally, get it all figured out, right?
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right. Yeah, we've been struggling all year in the stock class, just like you said. The Yamahas, are just tough to beat this year. They've got a lot of stuff figured out on them that are going really well. And we've just been trying to find, a half inch here, a half inch there, just trying to make it perfect. And, I think we just finally, had the car perfectly ready for that track and that race. We took Saturday off, because it was so muddy. Nasty weather conditions on Saturday, so took Saturday off and just kind of sat back, made sure the cars were ready for Sunday, and it paid off. It all worked out.
Yeah, and that's an understatement. It all worked out, but I got to tell you, you had some exciting racing. I mean, I was fortunate enough on Sunday to be able to call the races from the booth, and I mean, you guys, let's put it this way. You guys were rubbing and banging on each other pretty darn good, buddy. It was exciting to watch.
It was a really cool race. That was the funnest race that I've had all year. I like racing when it's close. We're all close. All our machines were very close, as far as speed and everything. So it was a great race because it was close, and I love putting on a good show. I mean, that's the point. That's what we're there for, So it was a lot of fun. There was a little more banging than usual, I'd say, but I think everybody just really wanted it.
Yeah, well, there was a lot on the line at this one, too.
Just that much better to come out on top.
Yeah, well,
right.
You say there's a little bit more banging than normal, but I mean, there was a lot more on the line, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it was awesome to be able to call that and, and see you up there on the box. I mean, from here on out, I know we were talking via text yesterday. I mean, we just had Joe Duncan on the line and, he's there getting everything dialed in at Terracross. But yeah, I mean, just, here, a couple days you're flying back to Minnesota. I'll be in it on Friday, but I think you got to come a little early and help design a track. But I mean, you're reigning champ for I don't know how many years there. I mean, you got you got a target on your back there too.
Oh yeah, and I love doing Terracross. It's so much fun. Yeah, I've been lucky enough to win the last 3 years in a row. So maybe we'll see if I can go after a fourth. But yeah, I mean, just as much fun as winning is I love building the tracks. I really enjoy being part of that and designing and building the tracks and giving everyone, something fun to do. And it's unlike any other racing that there is for the side-by-sides. And the Razor, the Polaris Razor, is perfectly suited for it. And it's so much fun. It's a lot of fun to have the Razor on something, on terrain that it's built for, but you don't get to do it very much. You don't get to take your Razor out on a motocross track very often. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I know, like, with me, it's like almost like it takes me a while to get reacclimated, because I'm used to racing in the desert and things like that. Like you said, I don't have tracks like that around here, and even short course guys,
right.
It's so much different, You can run Crandon, but running Terracross is so much different, with the way you've got to approach things, and
exactly.
And I think that's what's fun about it, though. It takes all of us kind of out of our elements,
right?
And that's really what makes it a blast, but. So what?
Exactly. Yeah, because go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. So you helped Joe with the course design and stuff like that. I know he was saying that he thinks they've got it kind of figured out. It's going to be similar to last year, I think, with the layout. But you got anything up
Correct.
your sleeve you can tell me about this track? Because Joe, he doesn't really know. I'm like, well, maybe Luburgh has an idea what we got coming at us this year.
Well, last year, we kind of approached the track there in a different way because in years past we were trying to get the biggest jump we could out of the smallest area, and then, it just doesn't really make for good racing. So we kind of took a step back and tried to make it more of a momentum track, something, like I'm a motocross guy, so I kind of try and pick reference from like Southwick or Glen Helen and, places that there's big jumps, but it's momentum, it's a momentum track. And, that's kind of what we tried to do last year, and I thought it turned out great. It seemed like everybody was really happy with it, made for good racing. So, we're going to basically keep that in mind, but I'm, obviously going to change it to make it new and different and exciting. But, I'd expect high speed, big jumps, but nothing crazy. Things that, if you really want to go for it, you might be able to step out and get the next bump down to carry more momentum into the next corner and that kind of stuff. So I really want to make it to where there's a lot of lines and you can be creative and go out there and make it your own race.
Yeah, I think that one of my favorite jumps we've had the past couple years, I mean, in any series that I've done, was that one. It was like last year was like a double triple. It was coming out of the, you got the tires and then that K rail, and then you flip like a hairpin, and then it's just like wide open, and you hit that, and you want to carry as much momentum in it as you can, and there's like a double, but there's a third like ledge, and it was tough to be able to clear the whole thing. You really had to get a good run out of the corner, but that jump was so much fun because if you came up short, I mean, you come up short on the double, but there really wasn't a consequence. But if you hit it just right, like, I mean, you could really make some passes. I mean, I think I made one pass there, in midair, because the guy came up short on the double, or he doubled it, and I tried to triple it. But that jump was so much fun to hit. You just send the things, and I was like, it was just so much fun to hit that. So if we got more of that coming, like, count me in, man. I'm all about it.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Because like you said, it was big air. And but it was safe, and then you could even double and still be competitive. You didn't necessarily need to triple to be competitive, but it was definitely the faster line. I remember last year landing the triple and getting punted off into the turn because somebody doubled and had the hot line, so it can go either way. That's what's fun about it.
Yeah, for sure. And then I know, so I was just going to say, we got Terracross going on. We've got all that. And then you just dropped another bomb on me this week. Dude, you're all over the place. You're going to the 1,000 this year with Wes. I mean, that's a pretty big deal there.
Big deal. I'm super excited about it. I raced the 1,000 with Wes a long time ago on a quad, and I've been itching to get back down there ever since in a Razor because they're so much fun, and they're perfectly suited for that. And so, just excited about it. So I went down for the 500 and, co-piloted the whole thing so I could get back up to speed on everything down there. And then so for the 1,000, Wes is going to run the first 500, and then I'm going to pick up and run the second 500. So I'm super excited about that race, really pumped to go down there and be a part of it.
Yeah, well, and Wes, I mean, I got to say, dude, he's got a really, really nice desert car. So that, you're stepping into
that's probably the best part too, is I get to play that with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, you get to step into a pretty damn nice ride. It's got to be fun stepping into a car that like, hey, we can go out and win take an overall UTV victory in this. It's not like some car that you're hoping to finish mid-pack. This is like an elite level program. So that's got to be really exciting for you.
Yeah, he definitely has a premier car, that, just like you said. So it's exciting to just get to go drive that car and be a part of it. And, the 500, we did a lot of troubleshooting and figured out a lot of stuff. So I think we've really got, our game together for the 1,000. But like you said, I really think we have a shot at it. And, that's what we're going for. We're going for the win. But, obviously just finishing that race is also an accomplishment, and I'll be excited about that.
Yeah, how's the driving going to work out? I mean, because I look at it this way: even if you've got like a 3-person team, it's like 1,200 miles. I mean, you're still logging at least 400 miles in the car. If you guys are splitting it up as a 2-person team, I mean, you're going to log some legit miles down there. I mean, what you have any idea what the driving splits are going to be yet?
I believe he's going to take the first 500, and I'm taking the second. Is what he's quarterbacking the whole thing, so that may change. But I believe right now he's planning on doing the first 500, and then I'll take the second. So it's going to be a lot of time in the car nonstop. But for the 500, he soloed the 500, and I stayed in the car the whole time with him. So I kind of got a feel for what 500 miles straight's going to feel like. It's going to have my butt a little sore, I bet, by the end of it.
Yeah, I know. We actually ordered some special seat pads for Vegas to Reno this year, because it was like the other ones were like at the end of a race, it was like, man, your butt, like they were just worn out. So we ordered like some special super thick seat pads, just because, man, when you log that many miles in a UTV, it's like crap. You start getting sore in places you don't want to be sore.
Oh, you're not kidding. I mean, you start out thinking you got a really nice seat, and by the end of it, you're like, oh no, we got to do something else. Or there's no better product testing than sitting in it for 13 hours straight. So, and I think the 1,000's going to be. I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a good time is going to be in the 33 to 35 hour range.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
I don't know. I know the trophy truck guys were talking about 20 hours, so I don't know. I haven't really studied too much on it, but I know.
Yeah, so maybe I'm a little bit off.
Yeah, I know it's going to be long though, but man, we're running up against.
I think about 15. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was just going to say we're running up against a commercial break here, buddy. But I appreciate you taking the time to call in, man. Congrats on the win, and we'll see you in a couple of days there at Minnesota.
Yeah, we'll be hanging out. Sounds good. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jason. Take it easy, buddy.
Have a good day.
All right.
Thanks. Bye.
And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. You want extreme performance, reliability, and the most fun you can have on 4 wheels? The Polaris Razor brings it to you. But you don't need to take my word for it. You can take theirs.
I'm Tanner Faust, and I choose the Polaris Razor because it's the most fun you can have with a steering wheel.
What's up? I'm Ronnie Renner, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the sickest, most reliable side-by-side on the planet.
What's up, everybody? Heavy D from Diesel Brothers. Listen, I'm on Team Razor because it's hands down the best piece of machinery on the planet.
I'm RJ Anderson, and I choose Polaris Razor because it's the most fun, most capable machine.
Action sports stars, TV personalities, and some of the best race car drivers in the world all choose Polaris Razor because it's the ultimate combination of power, suspension, agility, and fun. Find out more information on the web at PolarisRazor.com or follow at Polaris Razor on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and use the hashtag RazorLife to share your story.
Sound, the sound of sports, the sound of the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Thanks for tuning in to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, available live online, in syndication on networks across the U.S., and available internationally on the American Forces Network.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here. We're, I guess, one of our last segments of the day, but I got my good friend Marty Fiocca with Crandon International Off-Road Raceway on the line to help me recap the weekend's events. But welcome to the show, Marty.
Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? Nice to be here again, and still up here in Crandon dealing with some rain, and feel like we got the weather in on Sunday just in time, so that was a good deal.
Yeah, it was, it had a little bit of rain on Saturday, but I don't know if you could ask for more perfect conditions on Sunday for an event, like we had. It was just absolutely beautiful. People coming out of the woodwork. I mean, I thought there was a lot of people there on Saturday, but Sunday, you want to talk about standing room only. I mean, it was insane for a guy that has never been there before. I mean, my mind was just blown. It was like, I think I told you at the end of the weekend, but I said, I get it now. I mean, I got it before, but I really get it now. I'm like, this is something that once you're there every year. It just becomes a part of you,
Yeah, I mean, that's always been the thing here. If this race were in some place where a lot of population were accessible, a lot of sponsors were accessible, let's say Las Vegas or San Diego or somewhere, it would be really something. But you have to want to get to Crandon. It's definitely a ways to come up. But once people are here and they see what they saw this weekend, we've already had racers already saying, Kyle LeDuc's already committed to coming back. We've had racers from West Coast already going to come back, East Coast, of course, and UTV racers that are super happy. So, we're going to start work here, take a week off or so and then jump right back into it and, going to announcing next year's event already. It was, like you said, standing room only, and the photography we saw from some of our better guys, I mean, it truly was the biggest crowd we've ever had in Crandon, and that's saying a lot because we've had big crowds here before.
Yeah, well, and it's one of those things you say you build it and they will come, and it's like you guys continue to add camping, and add, more spaces and things like that, and it's a sellout every single year. I mean, this year you guys added a bunch of spaces and there was none left.
Yeah, I mean, we've had close to sellouts and we've had big crowds, but this year truly was, a sellout. I don't know how much more people or how many more people you could have gotten on the hill. Obviously, the grandstands were full on Sunday. The camping was sold already by Thursday, where we had no more space, and that was truly real. We had no more space, so we're already convening with the board of directors here sometime this week, and looking at expanding out again. We already have plans for that, but there's already some amenities we want to add. Another big screen. There's some things you have to do just to keep the show as good as it can be. And like I said, it's come a long way in a couple of years. I think the idea of running the Super Bowl Sunday for everybody, there's always adjustments. There's always people who, aren't sure about leveling the playing field. We get that, but somebody's got to take the first steps to do it. I think doing it for one day is working, and I think hopefully it'll bring both sanctioning bodies in the West and East Coast together to try to help us sort out the rules so they're similar or close to similar on both sides. But that's all the growing pains. But the event came a long way from last year to this year. I can tell you, we're really proud of what happened here over the weekend and certainly on Sunday.
Yeah, well, and you talk about leveling the playing field and things like that, but I got to tell you, I mean, the splits, especially, that was a big deal with 3 separate starts for the Cup race on Sunday, but I got to tell you, I know there was a lot of kind of, I guess, quote unquote science and, and in addition to some guesstimation, but it worked out perfect. I mean, it wasn't like Bryce and Kyle caught, the lead Pro 2 early in the race. I mean, it was down to the last lap when they made that pass. So, to me, I mean, everything kind of, it worked out great.
Yeah, I mean, there's the problem. In the morning Cup race, I think was done well. Faye Stetson, who's here on our board of directors, does the splits. He did them with Tommy Morris, our competition director. They felt that they could have gone. They almost went 3 seconds longer for the split for the Pro 4s on the Cup race. But it still worked out. It's difficult to get it right. The track changes. Everybody changes, but every year I've been here, except for one race we saw in June where we were off, they've been pretty close. Those guys do it as well as they can do it. It's certainly fans love the Cup race concept where you're trying to chase down these guys. And we made the decision to do the 3 split, the 3 green flags for Pro 2 East, Pro 2 West, and Pro 4. Kind of the last hour before the Cup race, we had some time because unfortunately the power went out over on the TV production side, which is why the race was delayed a little bit. But it still worked out. And boy, I tell you what, that Sunday Cup race was probably one of the most exciting races I've ever seen here. And having Andrew Carlson do as well as he did, and Brad Love was in the mix for a long time, and so was as Eric Fitch from the West Coast and Patrick Clark, and then of course all the Pro 4s. I don't think I've ever seen Kyle LeDuc drive as hard as he did. And frankly, the Menzies group had some time to prepare for this weekend. They didn't come last year, so they had a long time to prepare. They haven't done a lot of short course racing this year. They've done a lot of testing. It showed. And, have my hats off to everyone, but certainly them. They came prepared to race, and they did.
Yeah, and I got to ask you because I don't know. I mean, I can't remember, but you might be able to tell me. And has there ever been a guy that won the Pro 2 race, won the Pro 4 race, and won the Cup race all on the same day?
That's the question I got to investigate. My thoughts tell me no. I don't think that there have been. They may have run the Pro 4 race and then run the Cup race or run the 2 and the 2, but I don't think maybe CJ did, but I don't think so. I've got to go look in some history books here and try to figure that out. But if not, it's certainly a huge accomplishment for Bryce and Menzies' team to do so. I mean, they didn't know about the Pro 2 allowing the West Coast Pro 2 rules to run until 3 or 4 weeks before this weekend. They obviously jumped in and prepared their Pro 2 as well. And basically we watched, and Tommy and I watched, and Bryce was on point. I mean, he was driving an 11 that was so smooth. He hit his marks every lap. The truck looked perfectly new when it was done. It was crazy, and he just really did a great job. And I think that on both sides, brought out their best. And I think that it just shows you what happens when you really have the best of the best racing together. And I think everybody's scrambling now to make sure that they can prepare for next year. We're going to have announce our World Cup date, which we already know is going to be next Labor Day weekend, Sunday. Our attendance, our television numbers, and our purse, right after probably the middle to end of October, just before the SEMA show, and everybody can start preparing for next year.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm in for next year already. It's like I'm sold. I'm back there for sure. I mean, talking to any of the West Coast drivers that I talked to, we had Ryan Beat on earlier. He's driving back, and he's like, this is one that he's like, for the rest of my career, he's like, I know where I'm spending Labor Day weekend. He's like, I'm having my truck, at Crandon. He's like, I can't miss it now, and I got the same, the same vibe. I mean, you guys, obviously you guys wrap this thing up for Crandon, for Labor Day. You don't have another, massive short course race there until next June. But I mean, what happens there at Crandon? I mean, what do you guys have, between now and next June? What's the plans for you guys? Because obviously you just don't sit on your hands and wait 8 months.
No, we don't. You know, that's kind of a funny conversation. I mean, anybody who works on a world-class event, I don't care if it's the Long Beach Grand Prix, I don't care if it's the Indianapolis 500. I mean, there's a core group of people working here all the time. Now, what happens here, you know, now is that everything gets kind of cleaned up, put away, and a lot of the staff who work so hard here and the board of directors, they love to go hunting. It's almost deer season. You know, they get ready to go ice. They get ready to go ice fishing. You know, things slow down. They hibernate like a big bear, like the big house bear goes hibernating. And now that's for those guys here at the track. Now, of course, plans are being drawn up for new stuff to start building in terms of the facility. But on my side of the equation, you know, the marketing, sponsorship, you know, television, all that stuff, that starts, really starts at Off-Road Expo here in a couple of weeks. And then we go right into SEMA, PRI, you know, and then we have a lot of plans for next year. So, no, it really doesn't stop. It's amazing how consuming it can be. And there's a lot of, you know, we already have a laundry list of things we want to do better. But, you know, it's a growing pain, too. I mean, it's not just opening the doors and bringing the series in. It's us basically promoting Sunday and all of that goes into that as a separate event. And, you know, I think it's working out great. The Torque people are happy. I mean, I think everybody's happy and realizing what the benefit of having an independent day. Like we said before, and we said here, you know, as long as there are two series in the sport, and there's certainly reasons why there are. There's going to be one Super Bowl Sunday here at Crandon. The World Cup's going to remain and continue, and I think that's exciting for everybody. But there's a lot of things we can do. You know, we can do better. But boy, you know, there's a lot of things you look back on, and certainly the crowd and having people like you come out, Jimmy, for the first time and really enjoy yourselves. I'm going to extend an invitation to you need to build yourself a short course Polaris and come out here and race.
Yeah, that's,
you know?
that's the thing. It's fun being on the mic, but it's even more fun being behind the wheel. And I'm already, wheels are turning. It's like, how can we pitch this deal so I can be in a Razor next year, you know, at Crandon? You know, it's that much fun. I just had a blast. I want to thank you and your wife both for the hospitality. It was an amazing time. And, you know, I said it on the start of the show. I mean, my co-host Amy, she's teaching a motocross school today, but she's like, I'm in. She's like, next year I'm there. I'm like, well, we can do that. Throw down a big live radio show with Amy and I there from Crandon, I'm sure. But it was one of those things where anybody I've talked to is like, you know, I can't even explain it, Marty. It was just a phenomenal experience. And the racing, that, you know, it was some of the best short course racing I think I've ever seen. And I've been to a lot of short course events.
Yeah, the track kind of did that. Weather did that, but having all the best guys did that too, and you know that extended all the way even to the UTV guy ranks. I mean, I didn't have a chance, unfortunately, to see the UTV races. I heard they were great. You called them, but I understand that a Polaris one. You know, it's been kind of a Yamaha-dominated year, so that's nice for that. And you know, we balanced out some performance regulations there. You know, clearly UTV racing is a big deal for us. We want to really help build, you know, coming to Crandon and winning a world championship here in short course for UTVs is a big deal and a big part of our agenda for next year. But we'd love to have you. You know, it's hard. Like you said, you know, I watch some of the super buggies go around. That's kind of my wheelhouse, and I'm ready to kind of jump in one too. You know, I don't know if that's possible, but you know, we'd love to have you back. And like I said, we can work together on that, and you know, get your fans out here, whatever it takes. But, you know, we really feel this year that the momentum that we built and that these guys like Cliff Lanner and everybody who spent 48 years building is really back in the upswing again, and Crandon is back where it should be. Not that it ever really left, but certainly the polishing and the, you know, making it, honing it, and getting it modernized and bringing the World Cup and certainly Red Bull Signature Series and, you know, all our sponsors with Vision Wheel and, you know, Polaris and Ponzi and all those great guys, BF Goodrich, that's made a huge difference too. So we're excited, and we already have a lot of partnerships preparing for next year too. So the people who are here are excited, and they're ready to come back.
Yeah, well, you know, and I know, you know, just talking to the fans, I didn't realize, you know, you can put a big event somewhere, but you never know, you know, how deep it runs. You know, is it all outside people coming in? But, you know, I was walking through, you know what I mean, the lawn chair area, and I talked about this earlier in the show, but I had people coming up to me who knew who I was and, you know, listened to the radio show there in Crandon, and they're like, we listen online. How do we get you on regular radio here in Crandon? I'm like, well, I guess that's something I need to work on, right? I need to start calling some of the local radio stations and get them to pick up the show. But it was funny, like people there, you know they're a hardcore, endemic, you know, off-road fan when they're tuning into my radio show, you know what I mean? And I was just like, wow, like it was such a cool atmosphere. And, you know, I just had a phenomenal time. Racing was great, and I can't wait to be a part of it next year.
Well, we do this really. The World Cup was brought in for the sport, for the industry, but really for our fans. They deserve to see the best of the best here, at least every Labor Day. And, they really drive the train here. They always have. And we work hard to, with the camping and everything we can do to make them happy and comfortable for 4 or 5 days. Remember, it's not one day. And, yeah, they know the racers. They know you. They know, they know everybody who's involved. I talked to Kyle LeDuc, and he said he sold like $7,000 or $8,000 worth of merchandise on Saturday while it was raining. Wow. And, he was just blown away. And we've had that conversation. Casey Curry's had that with me. Carl Renezeder said he blew through a bunch of stuff. These people are hardcore fans, and they're not just, they don't want autographs just to kind of do something for their kids. They want it for themselves. And, I think that's the best part is that these are true fans of the sport. They love, the fact that the Bryces and the Kyles and, everybody showed up. Brian Beat, everybody. They're just happy to see everybody here racing. They just want to see great racing, and they want to prove, who's best. And certainly there's some of the East Coast fans who are kind of upset that, maybe Menzies, swept everything. But there's others who understand that that's the way it was, and they're just happy to see the best of the best come to the best racetrack in the sport and, on the best weekend and just go race. And I think that at the end of the day, politics aside, all sponsorship things aside, that's what matters is the fans. And, they want to come see good race. And I think, like you said, I saw some of the best short course races I've ever seen, for sure Sunday. That the Cup race was phenomenal. The Pro 2 race was great. Pro 4, it was great. It was just great racing.
Yeah, it was definitely a good time. I appreciate the time, Marty. I'm sure we'll have you back on air soon, to talk again. But thank you for everything, and, we'll definitely chat soon, buddy.
Okay, great. We'll have some announcements with you, and like I said, we need to start planning your next race car here, Jimmy. So get on it. We'll have to go talk to Polaris and make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely, man. I'm in.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Marty.
Talk to you soon. Thanks.
Yeah,
bye.
You too. And we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Want the latest from Jim Beaver and Amy Hood? Follow at Jim Beaver 15 and at Amy Hood 71 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, just wrapping up an awesome show about Crandon, about off-road, about Terracross, about short course, about all kinds of stuff. I do have to give a couple of big shout-outs. One to Robbie Gordon winning there at Watkins Glen. My friend Alexander Rossi winning the IndyCar race. And a big shout-out to Jeffrey Hurlings for the 450 class win at the Ironman Nationals in motocross. But more importantly, Eli Tomac on that outdoor championship. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in. Make sure and catch Project Action this week. I'm going to have a big Crandon special there with a ton of interviews that I did. So that'll drop on Thursday. Make sure and rate, review, subscribe on iTunes to Project Action, as well as the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Those really mean a lot. Appreciate all those, all those ratings and reviews. Big shout out to Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, KC Highlights, Gibson, Dirtfish, Impact, OTSFF, Optimus, Terracross, the Blue Water Resort Casino. Don't forget to check out Heritage Road, the NASCAR podcast coming at you on anywhere you get subscribe to your podcasts. And make sure and follow me at Jim Beaver 15 on social media. Amy is at Amy Hood 71. That Dirtfish coupon code is JB Dirtfish. And don't forget, go to podcast1.com, fill out that survey, check the box for Project Action, as well as the Down and Dirty Radio Show. And I got Heydays this weekend. We'll be dropping a ton of content. That's coming at you, so be sure and follow me on social media for more information on that. We'll see you next week. Be safe. As always, game on.